On a day like today, I'm reminded of one of the hardest truths in America, that to live as a person of color in this country is to live every day by the flip of a coin. On one side, to be seen as a commodity to be extracted economically, culturally, and for too many of our Asian American sisters, sexually. Just a commodity to be extracted, ready for the taking. On the other side of the coin is to be seen as a threat to the fevered delusions of white supremacists that assume that if we're not there for the taking, then we must be a threat to be removed. Every day is a flip of a coin. The cruelty of this is that not only the psychic toll it takes, but that it's often the least of us, those with the smallest hearts and the smallest minds, that get to decide at any given moment whether or not we're commodity or threat. The violence against Asian Americans has not only been a hallmark of this pandemic, but also a hallmark of our people's history in this country. We were brought here as economic value to be extracted. And when we began to build our own, we became a threat, and that too often turned to violence. This is why we as Asian Americans must never fall into the myth of the model minority. This notion that our economic value can somehow outshimmer the underlying racism that contextualizes our very being in this country. And more broadly, as people of color, we unfortunately have to see this fate as common between us, that the attacks in our communities may be different in scope and tone and type, but they share common roots. They are all rooted in the longstanding tradition of this country of indigenous erasure, of anti-Blackness and white supremacy. And this is why we must all stand together, to hold each other up when we succeed and to hold each other up when we are attacked, to have each other's back and speak out with one voice, because we know it's just a matter of time before that coin is flipped again. And for the long haul, if we stand in solidarity and we build together, we will build power. And only with that power can we collectively and finally bury this very American tradition of white supremacy and bury that into the past. So we can no longer be seen as just a commodity or threat. So we can finally start building a country where we're all seen, all heard, and all given the proper space to just live our lives. Our hearts go out to the families of those that lost loved ones in Atlanta and those impacted by this current wave of anti-Asian violence across this country. Thank you.